Yo, what is up, guys? And because I think the ROF Blues are trash, we're going to do some more coverage on Gamma 1 and, of course, Gamma 2 because I absolutely adore them. Let's watch this entrance animation.
私の邪魔をするというのなら受けて立とう。私こそがスーパーヒーローだ。僕はヘド博士の最高傑作。そしてスーパーヒーローだ。
So, as the title would suggest, this is, I would say, in my humble opinion, this is probably the most impressive showing for a character. So this is the ultimate red zone versus probably the hardest enemy of the red zone. I think you could probably make a case for the Metal Cooler Core. I would actually probably argue that the Metal Cooler Core is a little bit tougher than Broly, but Broly, dude, his AoE phase is so goddamn irritating. If you get rid of that AoE phase, yeah, it's a much different fight. If it was just like a standard, you know, whatever kind of phase, I feel like he doesn't even hold a candle to Metal Cooler, right? Or the Metal Cooler Core, right? That fight is just ridiculous. But again, we are here fighting Broly, right? It seemed appropriate to try and bring this special pose team, which I'm... Special pose, you know, historically not a very good category. It was really one of those head scratchers. It was during, I believe that was is that a 2020 category? I think it was 2020 or 20. Yeah, I believe it's 2020. That when it came out, it was just one of those head scratchers. Like what? Like what even is this category, right? Special pose, and it had some very, you know, interesting choices of units. You know, you have everything from the Gamma 1 and 2, which, you know, I assume they were, you know, at least conceptualized back then, but they weren't out, you know, and they weren't canon and what have you back in 2020. But again, you know, basically you had the Ginyu Force, you had like some Gotenks units, you had like, and then what, some of like Universe 11 maybe? Like there's really just like, it's such a barren category. There's just really nothing doing to the category. So Special Pose, again, not a very good category. It has had some very significant buffs though. So one of them, of course, being, as I mentioned, two of them, I guess, Gamma 1 and then Gamma 2. Gamma 1, I think, is probably the best TUR that the game has to offer currently. The way that he's able to have his damage reduction and guard, this guy can tank a super attack without his guard active, which you guys will see later on in the video, from a type disadvantage Broly. Broly, for those of you who don't know, hits very hard. And guess what? He can double super attack. So that Broly, man, at the end, that AGL Broly, dude, is just fucking devastating, man. And Gamma 1 can tank him. I don't want to say no problem at all, but, like, he pretty comfortably tanked him, right? On a lot of these teams where you're rocking, you know, 600 plus HP, and then, of course, you know, on some teams, even a little north of 6 or even close to 700k. On the really ridiculous teams, you know, you can get over 800k, but again, you're rocking a lot of HP. You can take a 400,000 super attack and still be okay if your other units are competent defensively, right? That's the whole point. Is if you start running too many units that are sus versus Broly, they are very easily exposed. You have to have some just crazy options for your team if you're gonna rock even a unit like Berter and Jeice, who I think is very good, but against Broly, man, he exploits pretty much their biggest weakness in that, you know, they can't dodge against Broly, and when they can't build up with their dodge, they can struggle, right? Like they really can. They're gonna get hit a lot for normals, so you got to make sure you're getting them at least like 2 super attacks per turn, right, for them to even stand a chance. Or you got to rock one of the best defensive units in the game, Gamma 1. I mean, that's the whole point, right? Gamma 1 makes a lot of this possible for sure. Him just being able to hold down slot 1, it's just an absolute W for whatever team you're running him on. Even his own team, right? So even that Artificial Life Forms and Movie Heroes team, he's holding down slot no matter what team you're running him on, man. And he does not explicitly need Gamma 2, especially if you've got him with some dupes. But I think Gamma 2 certainly helps him. And kind of moving on to Gamma 2. Gamma 2 is easily he's just the mega ultimate damage dealer of the team. You're rocking 2 Gamma 2s on this team, man. You are just absolutely fucking good to go, right? It also helps that Gamma 2 in this particular fight is AGL, because look at what we're dealing with here. We got to deal with AoE Broly. And we're going to go ahead and float off the friend Gamma 2. I think the friend Gamma 2, I want to say in this run it was 90%. I'm going to just be straight up and honest with you guys. This was a first try no item run with this team. This team, if it could have, I just feel like it needs just like a little tiny bit more, right? Like, we've got the Ginyu Force. AGL Ginyu is still a beast. You know, say what you want about him. He's still a beast, particularly at the rainbow level. He just does too much, right? One thing that you're going to notice, and I feel like everyone always neglects to mention about Ginyu, the mid-battle heal is so valuable. It is so valuable. All you have to do is not die, and then Ginyu can get you a 60% heal. That's really good. Like, and yeah, sometimes not dying is a tall task in this game, you know, in this difficult content. But dude, Ginyu, that mid-battle heal is just like, I just can't really understate how valuable it is. And the fact that he's stacking defense, he can get you some really nice healing with same type orbs as well. And then again, you've got, look at this Gamma 2, like literally with Fierce Battle active, just like annihilating this Broly, dude. We just one-turned the STR phase of Broly. I mean, we just one-turned him. And that was mostly thanks to Gamma 2, but yeah, obviously AGL Ginyu put in some work. So it's kind of crazy. We are only, you know, 6.5 minutes into this video. We still got 10 minutes to go, right? AGL Broly is no joke. Now, I'm going to go ahead and admit, I feel as though I made a mistake on this turn. So I was talking earlier in the video about Gamma 1 tanking a Broly Super, and it's right here. And I'm not going to lie, I was sweating a little bit here. I'm like, fuck, you know, this was a good run, ruined, right? Because I made a blunder. What I really should have done, this was an easy blunder, and I think I make up for it later in the video. Gamma 2, man, he's got the 50% chance to nullify, not dodge and counter, but nullify beam super attacks. If I would have put him in slot 1, we had a 50% chance of taking 0 damage, right? Which is just so invaluable against AoE Broly. 10 milli, unsupported, right? Well, I can't say that. He's getting defensive. No, he's getting offensive support. I can't say that. I always try to claim that, and sometimes it's not true. But that we do have a little bit of support on rotation. But primarily, it's just all those big-time, you know, Android links that he shares with Gamma 1, right? But Gamma 2, man, he's a very, very fun unit. I do like having him, for sure, in the repertoire. There it is, right? So Broly decides to be a prick and double super. Again, I still would have been better off putting Gamma 2 in slot 1. I really do feel like that. But let's go ahead and check out AGL Captain Ginyu's active skill. Kinda crazy because of AGL Captain Ginyu. My mistake earlier in the video on the last turn, because of AGL Captain Ginyu and his mid-battle heal and his scouter, we are in such a primo position right now. Like, look at, I mean, it couldn't get any more perfect, right? Raccoon and Goldo are going to tank that like an absolute champion, right? Because they are still one of the best banner units in the game. They might not be good as, you know, AGL Android 8 or something like that, but they are still, like, crazy mega good, right? Like, they can still defend with the best of them, right? For sure, for sure. So, but again, man, again, it's just something that people don't really mention with AGL Captain Ginyu, is like the heal. It's just like, and then of course, like I just mentioned, the scouter ability, the 50% chance to get the scouter. Now the problem is when that doesn't activate, you know, you have to pretend like, when you don't see a super attack, you have to pretend like it didn't activate, right? Because you can't just rely on a 50% chance of the scouter, but still. But again, it allows us, again, it puts us in a really good position here. I'm not sweating it at all. We get 3 attacks from Ginyu. Remember, on this turn, because it's carrying over from the AGL, just base form Ginyu, he is super effective against all types. We get the crit there anyway. And then remember, if we weren't against Broly, he's also building up a chance to dodge, right? Up to a 50% chance to dodge, which is just so crazy. He's building up attack and defense and crit chance. Like, his defensive levels, even as, Ginyu Goku, dude, they just get ridiculous, right? Along with his chance to dodge, right? So again, AGL Ginyu, I feel like he can be a bit, like, exposed in this run. Or in this particular fight, because he cancels his chance to dodge. But dude, Captain Ginyu, man, he's still wild. And then we can see here, man, just the epic defensive stats that we can get here, man, are just crazy with the Gammas, man. They're both rocking over 500k defense, right? So again, you get them a few same type orbs, and you're like healing up a lot. I felt very comfortable rocking Gamma 1 right here, even if we get super attacked. About 8 milli, huh? 8 milli. That's pretty good. That was almost 9 million, right? Because are we getting double support? Is that why? I'm very comfortable. Anyway, I'm very comfortable rocking Gamma 1 in slot 1 there. Yeah, and we're getting supered, but it's okay. We got that defensive raise. I just feel much more comfortable. And maybe in hindsight, I maybe could have rocked Gamma 2 in slot 1, but look at that. Only 300k type disadvantage is incredible against Broly. And then a very, modest 11 million attack stat, right? From Gamma 2, right? Just ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. Really love using the Gammas. Matter of fact, if you have the choice right now between summoning for the ROF Blues and the Gammas, and you don't have them maxed out, why not just summon for the Gammas, man? The ROF Blues can't do this. They stand no chance. They can't do shit like this. Vegeta at his peak could maybe hit like a single 10 million attack stat, right? Now, granted, he can get a guaranteed crit if you're getting him 4 Rainbow Key Spheres. That Vegeta is good. I don't want to downplay him. Like, if it were just him as the card, I'd feel a lot better about that unit. Like, maybe he stacked attack and defense or something, and like, you could change him around a little bit. But if it were just that Vegeta, I'd feel pretty good. But the fact that you gotta have Goku first, man, is just such a boner killer, right? Like, Vegeta's pretty good. Goku's just not, right? Like, he can do some damage, right? He can triple super, which is pretty nice. When you're stacking attack and you're triple supering, this shit adds up for sure. But like, hard hitters are not what we're looking for. You want units that can do offense, no question about that. But you have to. You gotta have units that defend well, right? It's just a necessity in this game. Now, we're not looking so good here. The only chance of survival is if he only supers Raccoon Goldo. And even at that, we're cutting it mega close here, right? So 7.61 there from Goku Ginyu. Another thing that we could do is just simply end it here, right? If Goku Ginyu can do some really good damage, like, we're fine, right? But if we get supered, if Goku Ginyu gets supered, of course, if the LR Ginyu Force gets supered there on the end, we are in some trouble, no doubt about that. This is a unit I haven't talked about much. I didn't really cover too much. This unit is pretty good. Like, they're like a support unit for the Ginyu Force. Like, they're pretty solid, right? But the fact that they're not tanking double digits type advantage in here, I don't care for that much. So here's the thing. I have a feeling, because he did not super attack, that we're gonna get supered. So I decided to just rock Gamma 2 out front with the Dokkan attack. And hopefully we can nullify it. Look at all that healing. Did y'all see that? Like, we're all the way over half health. So again, the fact that he did not super here assures our victory. It's not like he can dodge or anything anyway, but you can't dodge the Dokkan attack. So victory is ours, right? He had a tiny sliver of health. I thought that was the end of the run, but indeed we do get the W here. So guys, let me know what you think of this special pose team. I think certainly, if we could maybe get another Universe 11 celebration, or like if we could even get more Ginyu Force members, I mean, eventually they're going to probably drop an LR Gamma 1 and 2. We got to get that Gamma 2, that epic Gamma 2 moment, right, at the end of Superhero, right, where he sacrifices himself. Ooh, sorry, spoiler. So we got to get that in the game at some point. So special pose, It's not great, but, you know, it's got some room for improvement. Slap a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and I will catch all of you in the next one. Later.